Yeah. Look at that. Willie doing the ones and twos. Just smoothly bringing us into today's episode, making me want to get all sultry over here.
Yes.
That was nice.
Yeah, I try my best.
Is that something you've been thinking about for a while? Shout out to IMAX on the beat, by the way.
Yeah.
You've been thinking about that for a while?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just because Vin's here again? Is that why you did that?
It's mainly him.
Yeah.
I want to impress him.
Yeah. We're just trying to warm him up because he's always got the coat on.
Yeah.
So maybe the song will help to warm him up over there. He says he's got a lot to bring to the table today. He told me beforehand. He's got a Subway update, which we've all been waiting for. And people got very upset, actually, with me the other day because they said, why are you talking about Subway when Vin's not there?
Yeah, how dare you?
Because I was talking about a new sandwich at Subway, Vin, which is they were saying it's a safety hazard. It was a melt sandwich. And it required a lot of cheese. And the hot cheese was going into that. You know, they have that toaster thing?
Yeah.
In order to create the melt. And then the people who were working there, the franchisee association said this is a hazard. Fire hazard, burn hazard. We got cheese everywhere. And so what's your feeling on the melt? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, more on the Subway update later. He's got something he wants to say. But before that, we got to get into the main story. It's an exclusive on Reuters. Foxconns iPhone output in India down amid COVID surge. I mean, this is no surprise. We've covered this a number of times on this show, how there's been this move towards production. Well, not just for Apple, but for a variety of technology brands, all kinds of incentives and advantages to, as far as doing some portion of assembly inside of India. But then you have the COVID surge been going on, and you're hearing all about it. Of course, there's the human component, watching all kinds of clips, and obviously sending the best energy possible over there. Like, I was looking at some numbers over here. It was just some wild numbers. The country has recorded 22.66 million infections and more than 246,000 deaths. But then they're like, look, a lot of this stuff is not necessarily reported because of the nature of different communities in India and the level of connectivity over there. So anyways, but you had to assume that at some point this was going to make its way into the tech segment because the manufacturing and assembly has moved over there, particularly for companies like Apple through Foxconn. And some of the regions that they do business in have been some of the hardest hit. So the Foxconn facility in the southern state of Tamil Nadu produces iPhones specifically for India, which is the world's #2 smartphone market. And they've been one of the worst hit states in this second wave. So they had like 100 employees test positive, and then they got rid of the in-out privileges, and they actually kept people in the facility, again, allegedly, accordingly, to keep some of the production going.
So they just stay there like overnight?
Once they go out, they don't come back. So I don't know if it's like a kind of thing where stay as long as you can, but then once you leave, you're off the dock. I don't know.
Right.
Obviously, but they're just trying to do whatever they can because the speculation now is that production in this particular facility, for example, is down around 50%. Now, the significance of this is what it means for availability because you set your pricing structure, if you're Apple, let's say, for that market based on those incentives because you think, okay, I'm going to be assembling this thing here. If you had to go back and try and import, say, an iPhone 12 from some other market or whatever iPhone they happen to be manufacturing there, now you got those tariffs applied to it and no longer that pricing working out to maintain your margin or whatever. So you may eventually, as a consequence of this, see some sort of shortage because, and you know what? It seems weird to put this into the, like you can't elevate this to the status of the human impact of something like COVID, but it is another piece. Right, it's another piece of the story, and it highlights how the thing has impacts all the way down. It's not just the immediate impact; it's also like all the way down the list, and whatever amount of time it's going to take to recoup. Because if you go down to 50% on production, to get it ramped back up, and then to replace the lost volume, you got to be working backwards a little bit. So it's just worth noting if you're in the market for an iPhone, the supply that's sitting on shelves over there is, and maybe this is in the back of your mind if you're dealing with, depending on what's happening in your specific community over there. But I would say it would be unlikely at the current prices for Apple to start to import from elsewhere. So, yeah, tech is affected just like everything else from this stuff. So hopefully this can get sorted out, or at least cooled off a little bit, you know. HTC is putting out a new Vive Pro 2, and you're a big VR guy, Will, so I thought you might want to check this out. 5K resolution and 120 hertz refresh rate. It also has a wider field of view. They say they basically defeated the screen door effect. I don't know if you ever suffered or noticed such a thing on your VR headsets. The biggest change is a new display now offers 5K resolution, so that's 2 separate displays. It's 2448 pixels per eye and 120 degree field of view, which is up from the previous 110 field of view, 110 degree field of view in the original Vive Pro. And so because of this variety of improvements, HTC says there will be minimal motion blur. So this is going to help you to immerse yourself in VR even better than before. What do you think?
Dangerous.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We might never see you again.
Yeah.
You got 5K now.
Also, it works as a wireless adapter as well, so you can do it wirelessly.
Does that? But you have to get an accessory for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a cool product, and VR is just going to get better and better. It is scary though, how it's, you know, going to be pretty much like this lightweight thing that you put over your head, and then it's like you're in another world, like high fidelity, high resolution. There's also speakers, surround sound, you know. So
the new Vive Pro 2 will also work with all Vive Steam VR accessories, including Vive trackers, the new Vive facial tracker, and any Steam VR controllers and other accessories. There's no weight or dimensions out yet, and I think weight's a big deal. Obviously, this is one of the reasons you're such a fan of the little Oculus one, and myself as well. Vin, what you ever messed around with VR, Vin?
At your house.
What'd you do?
Boxing.
Oh, that's right. That wipe you out or what?
Yeah. It wiped everyone out. I mean,
Got your heart rate going? Highest your heart rate's been in 26 years?
one round.
Yeah.
I would agree though, weight. That, I mean, weight, overall size.
Yeah, it makes a difference when it comes to immersion. If you're reminded of the fact that you have this big contraption on your head.
And the balance.
Absolutely.
The balance is important as well.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
Should be looks pretty promising.
Exciting.
It's gonna be starting at $749 USD. Still, I mean, this is the premium headset, right?
Yep.
And that's during the current promotion, without controllers or external trackers. After the promotion is over, it's going to go up to $799. And if you get the full kit with the Pro 2, base station 2.0, and controllers, that's going to be available June 4th, and that's going to be around $1,400. You remember we were talking about Roku versus Google recently, and how Google was like playing 4D chess as far as trying to get around their disagreement with YouTube TV on Roku devices. And Roku was like, hey, that's not cool. Monopoly. They just started shouting Monopoly.
Is that what they did?
I don't know. I'm paraphrasing. Well, here's one of the reasons why Google has leverage is because you got devices like this coming out. Walmart's 4K Android TV box, which, I mean, this could be an even bigger problem for Roku. Devices like this, but now you got a big player like Walmart. They're going to display it prominently, put it on the web page.
You step in the store, it's just like this 4K Android TV. It's just going to be like in your cart already.
Oh, that's all you got to do?
Yeah.
Someone just puts it in there for you.
Yeah.
The guy, the Walmart guy who says hi at the front, he just hands. It's so
one for you.
So cheap, you don't even. And you see the remote, it's like very Android TV. First and foremost, super simple. Assistant button, YouTube button, Netflix button. I think
Wow.
there's an HBO Max button. I mean, super simple setup. It streams 4K. And I'm going to tell you the price right now. $29.88.
Wow.
Did I
This
get
is,
Vin's attention right there? The price? What are you laughing at? You like that price?
Yeah, that's what the price should be.
That's what Walmart does to it, right? Because
Yeah.
they got the volume and the scale. And they do it in so many different categories. And weirdly here, they kind of satisfy, at least I compare it to Amazon, because Amazon has cheap streaming devices too. But then they got to skin everything up and make it very Amazon. It doesn't seem like Walmart's doing that. It seemed like Walmart just gave me an Android TV box, like fairly native, especially when you see the assistant button featured so prominently, which is what I want to use. Now, they have a name for it. It's called ONN, O-N-N. I don't know how good that is. Yeah, you're getting an Android TV box that can output 4K over HDMI and has support for Dolby Audio. It gets its power via micro USB, so that's not as good as USB-C, obviously. But it's going to be plugged in all the time, so it's not a thing you're pulling in and out. I don't know how much that matters. As you saw, the remote has all the services I watch. That's the 4 services I watch right there. And it's actually in order of how I watch them, almost. It's got a dedicated button with a YouTube logo for YouTube, a Netflix logo for Netflix, a Disney Plus, and an HBO Max. That's the 4 things that I watch on there.
So are you getting it?
That's right. Walmart. I want to be the first.
A couple of these?
It supports both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. And they may also come out, listen to this, with a cheaper 2K version if you don't need 4K, if you have a 1080p. What cheaper? $15. It's a wrap. And these guys, they're going to play all right with Google. And Google's going to say, okay, feature our stuff prominently. We want Android TV. We want everything on there. And so that's not helpful for a company like Roku, who they dominate that sort of more affordable streaming box section.
And what Walmart can do is probably couple it in with like $100 and over purchase or something, like a combo. You spend $100 at Walmart. Here's a 2K Android TV thing.
You work for Walmart then?
Absolutely.
In the marketing department.
Yeah.
You're running promos right now.
Yeah. Work this
on
out.
on their behalf. No, I actually don't mind it. Or you can picture around holiday promotions in the Black Fridays and things like that.
Yeah.
Where they just get their device in there. Now, of course, it's not out yet. We don't know, but we don't know what it will be like, the interface. If it would be fast enough and all this, but I love the fact that they're using the reference design from Google on the remote, not trying to reinvent it, not trying to have their own streaming service and feature it prominently, not like everybody else. It's like, okay, we know what you want. We just do it for cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
Because we can take a smaller margin because we hit the volumes. Police have issued an arrest warrant for a YouTuber who got into SpaceX's Texas launch site and filmed the Starship rocket. Did you catch this clip when it came out?
No.
So this guy, he's got a vlog channel, and the name of the channel, Vin's gonna like this, is Loco Vlogs. So I guess it's crazy vlogs. So I'm not surprised that he trespassed onto SpaceX. But he walked right up to the rocket and just vlogged it. Like, whoa, wow. This is so crazy, and did it in a way that was very obvious. Like he didn't stumble upon it. Like it was his day trip. He's like, I know where SpaceX is located, and I'm around the corner. So in today's vlog, we're gonna go check out the rocket. He just sneaks in there and just very casually, as if he did nothing wrong. And well, obviously that's all changed. And the police are letting him know he's done something wrong because now you got a warrant for his arrest after posting the video. You can see a picture if you go a little bit further. There's the warrant right there.
Ooh.
Cesar L. Galaviz, criminal trespass, Class B misdemeanor, last known location, Conroe, Texas. So they caught the video, obviously, the local authorities, and they said, Well, they probably thought to themselves, if you're out here vlogging like this, other people are going to attempt it.
Yeah.
Because the clip got featured on a few different news sites. So they got to put an end to it.
Oh, they can't find a better picture there?
Actually, that picture's from the video.
Right.
How close does he get?
They can't like...
He walks right up to it. He
Brighten up
basically
the
touches the
picture.
rocket. He basically touches the rocket. Nobody stops him. It's a bad look for SpaceX. And because what, you trying to let him off, or what are you trying to do?
No, I didn't know how. I mean, obviously private property and all that, but I didn't know how close he got.
Yeah, he walked right up to it.
Yeah.
Would you do that for your vlog, Vin, or no?
No.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Right now, people are desperately searching for Vin's vlog.
There's no vlog.
They're looking, Vin.
Yeah.
They might uncover it. You never know. It could be local vlogs too. You never know. Sticking with Elon Musk for a second. He went on Twitter. Vin, did you catch his SNL stuff? No. What were you busy watching?
New
Yeah.
Eric Andre Netflix.
Yeah, you had a few laughs or what?
Good. It was
Funnier than SNL? How dare you?
probably.
What
No,
is it?
it was-
What is it?
I
It's
was-
like a stunt movie? Is it stunts? Is that
I
what it is?
was pleasantly surprised. You
But-
know when you really have no expectations and then
Right.
it turns out to be.
All right. Well, Vin just gave it his...
Oh,
Vin-
yeah. You sold me. I'd like to watch it.
That's all you had to say, Vin. You just convinced a lot of people to go check this out. Anyway, Elon Musk was on SNL. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Not for you, but for some people. And the people who invested in Dogecoin were preparing themselves for a rocket ship
Yeah.
because it seemed like this was going to be that peak moment of mainstream Doge exposure. And sure enough, Dogecoin was a topic of conversation on SNL, but there were a couple jokes in there that, and we talked about it on the last show, and they're jokes, by the way. So relax, but jokes are enough when it comes to trying to decode and stressing out about your gains and whatever else. So there was a joke about Dogecoin being a hustle. And I don't know how big of an impact that had, because I tend to think people were targeting SNL as like a sell moment anyway. It's like, okay, there's the peak. Now and then once the train starts rolling that way. That's my speculation. But anyway, the point being, Doge was kind of dipping. And Elon has described himself as the Doge father.
Yeah.
And so I think he feels kind of connected. Well, he's definitely connected in a really strong way. And so he comes out on Twitter, I guess, what is it, Tuesday? Today, Tuesday? Yeah, he comes out today and says, hey, maybe what if should Tesla accept Doge? And he puts a little survey out there.
Wow.
See, because this is one way to change the direction again.
What should I put?
Well, I was talking to you earlier about why it would be hard to do this for a really big purchase because of volatility, right? It's hard to compensate for the potential volatility, even in the transaction time necessary if you were willing to accept it. It's one thing you want to buy peanuts from Mark Cuban
Sure.
at the Mavericks game or the Oakland Athletics
Yeah.
or whoever's having fun with Doge. But it's another thing you want to spend $100 grand, and by the time the transaction executes, it's like your $5K difference in value. It's just tough. Now you could do it. You could do it. You could just stamp whatever value it was, or Tesla could buy, like they bought a bunch of Bitcoin. They could buy a bunch of Doge and sort of offset some of that discrepancy. But either way, he put it out there on Twitter. It hasn't seemed to turn around. Maybe you can give us a Doge update right now, price-wise, because it seems that it's far off of its high at this moment. Okay. All right. No. What is it? It's up 6%. It's up 6% on a 24-hour period. Is that right? And a 7-day, well, yeah. The high was over there. The high was SNL.
Or that Saturday.
Yeah. Friday, Saturday. SNL's on Saturday, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 72 cents around there was the peak. When we're down to 50 now, we'll see what happens. But of course, you know I had to bring this up. Doge has a new competitor. Doge has a new competitor, Will. I don't know if you heard about it. It's called Shiba Inu. And it's totally different than Doge, but obviously it shares the same icon here. And you've heard Elon talk in the past about how funny it would be for the joke meme currency to become the currency. You've heard him joke about that. So my question then becomes, what about the joke currency? And where does it end?
Yeah. I can imagine that Shiba and Doge will have like a coin war.
It's
like a versus.
It's like Coke and Pepsi or something.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway,
it can happen, man.
They're much different how they operate. And I'm just going to go full disclosure on this. This is not financial advice whatsoever.
Uh-oh.
But I goofed around and got some of this one.
Oh boy.
I goofed around. I rolled over in bed and got some of this one. And
Okay.
and it's much different. It recently got supported by a number of exchanges, but it's kind of like an NFT sort of. It's on top of Ethereum.
It's a token.
It's a token on top of Ethereum. And so in order to get it, well, I guess like I said, you can get it on Binance and things like this really recently, but otherwise you're using Uniswap and contracts in order to secure it and lock up some ETH. So there's a couple of extra steps involved over there, but here's the crazy part with this stuff. Some people, if you click over to the next tab, somebody got into this thing like I guess it was in October, and turned $17 into 5.9 million. And that got Vin's attention.
Expression is the same though.
Oh my God, because it's just been on a tear. This one's been on a tear. It's the joke of the joke. But this is what happens with memes, man. Memes spawn memes, and then all bets are off. All bets are off.
Sure,
and memes build on memes, and God knows how you're going to pinpoint this thing. It's just you're just hype mapping. You're just trying to pinpoint. And I mean, I guess charts and graphs can help you, but you're trying to hype map. Like, where's the next hype? What's the next hot meme? What's the next funny joke? Now, some people, Doge people, would be upset with this, or if they want to stay on that train.
Yeah.
Or
it's the true fun coin.
Yeah, who gets to be the fun coin, the real fun coin? And some people are upset. They're like, why did you have to copy it just so directly?
I know.
Like, we're Doge and then you're Shiba. Calm down. But there's actually more to the Shiba Inu thing. And I don't want to get, I mean, you could, I will be up till 3 a.m. because I'm already busy and I'm reading about this stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. They're trying to make an exchange and have a home for all the meme coins. That's another thing that Shiba Inu is trying to do. They also gave 50% of the tokens to Vitalik from Ethereum. And I know we're getting deep on the crypto talk over here, but the point being is that Shiba Inu is going to the moon, all right? Because I'm involved now. God.
Yeah.
No, like I said, it could just as easily go the other way. Oh, but this, I do want to mention this. The volume is mind-blowing. Shiba Inu tokens are now using up 10% of available gas on the entire Ethereum network. And I've noticed this because I'm in there goofing around and I'm just like doing fake swaps on Uniswap, and I'm looking at the gas fees. I'm talking like $500-$600 in some cases. And then I'm canceling that, and they're warning you. They're like, the network is bombarded right now. Because it's all happening on Ethereum blockchain.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. I mean, each transition or transaction is not that bad if you're making 6.5 mil.
No. But I'm saying that's reflected for anybody trying to do anything on
Sure,
Ethereum blockchain. When you have 10% occupied with these with these swaps on Uniswap,
Yeah.
it's a ton of activity going on. You can see it represented in a graph, a percentage of block gas used on transactions with SHIB hourly. Is it SHIB or SHIB? I don't know.
Whatever.
Anyway, Vin's expression pretty much explains the expression of the public right now. You see? Cut to his angle. See that expression right there?
Yeah.
Say, oh, God. Vin, why didn't you put $17 into SHIB? In October? Where were you? Oh, you were watching Eric Andre or something. It's probably just as good anyway.
It's worth it.
It might be. Who knows? Because this could, like I said, full warning, this could just as easy come, easy go, Willie do.
Well, that's going to affect NFTs now, no?
Yes, of course.
Because now,
gas.
if you're an artist, if you're only...
Gas is big right now.
Yeah, it has to be like a substantial amount.
Yeah, you're gonna or you're gonna hold it because you're like, oh man, this is too much. Let me do a quick calculation for you here. I'll tell you what it's going to be right now if you're trying to make one of these moves for an insignificant amount of money. So if you're going to try to go SHIB or SHIB to ETH, let's say, and you're going to try to do what would the equivalent, let's say, like, I don't know, $1,600 from one to the other. I'm going to click swap. We're going to get some real-time gas rates right now, $500.
Wow.
On 1,600.
And that's how long does that take for that
That's
transaction
fast.
to take place?
That's going to be 45 seconds.
Okay.
But it's not much less. It's $400 for 3 minutes.
Oh,
that's
good.
the slow setting for the miner fees. So the miners are cashing in on this Shiba Inu situation. And there's levels to this thing, man. It's like, oh my goodness
Doge killer.
gracious.
That's a new coin. Look
No,
at
that's the leash, which is one of the same team that's doing Shiba Inu is doing leash.
Look at this.
Yeah,
So many innuendos.
yeah. It's out of control over here, but
It's an Elon coin
yeah, of course they're doing that. It's meme. It's
or token.
I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of exhausting at some points too, where it's like,
Sure, yeah.
but it is fun at some points too. It all depends what direction you're traveling in.
Yeah, if you stay optimistic, who knows?
And also never play this game with life-changing money. That's the other disclaimer. If you want to play these games, you do so with funny money, which like, you can live completely fine. Whatever that number is for you, that's what you play along with.
Are you a financial advisor now?
I am not a financial advisor. Vin is.
He just grunts.
Yeah, that could be perceived one way or the other.
No.
That could be perceived either way. Vin, what would you choose? Doge or Shiba Inu? Go ahead. You got to get one. Wow. Tough decision. Or Willie D just gave you another option. That's pube coin. Which will be the meme coin to rule them all?
This one for sure.
All right, moving on. Why are people finding dryer sheets in their mailboxes? Either of you want to make a guess right now? Go ahead.
In their mailboxes? Like
People are finding dryer sheets in their mailboxes.
like personal ones or like the public ones?
No, they're personal mailboxes.
Something COVID, no? Like, what?
Okay, let's vent.
Does it have to do with animals?
Warm. Warm.
Animals are eating the mail?
Not bad.
Oh, okay.
No, to protect against yellow jackets. and hornets
the wasps.
and wasps and whatnot. So I never knew this was a thing that mail carriers were suffering through, but they would drop the front door on the mailbox and just reach in. And sometimes there would be a nest at the very back and they get stung.
Oh, geez.
And so people start to notice that they will have those dryer sheets. You know, they smell nice. You put in the dryer for your clothes. And people would say, who's putting these in here? Like, what kind of weird thing is going on? But the carriers would do it themselves because I guess the wasps, hornets, whatever, would choose against setting up shop in there with a strong scent like that. And so then no longer any concerns around, I guess this time of year, they start to set up shop. So how about that? That's a life hack for you, Will.
Well, yeah, I definitely don't want a hive in my mailbox.
No.
What about you, Vin?
Maybe put a notice. Maybe try and have the person take care of it. I don't know. I don't want to. What's next?
You're saying today it's a dryer sheet in my mailbox.
Wow.
Tomorrow you're cleaning my toilet. Like, what are you trying to say here? It's overreaching.
A little bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Is it invasive?
A little. Yeah.
Why? What could be wrong with it? Just the scent? You could be sensitive?
No, the fact that there's something in there that was placed by someone else.
So so it would
The mail,
you'd be
I
scared.
think the mail is obviously fine, but in addition to mail, yeah.
Why? It would make you nervous or something?
What if
It just
What if it was vanilla?
It's the
I didn't know you were so sensitive about your mailbox, Vin.
I think it's just the, there's a certain I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you, Vin. You're a very private guy. I hear you.
Well,
You don't want anyone's dryer sheets inside any of your things. I hear you, Vin. You want to be in control of all the dryer sheets in your life, and that's fine.
all right, well,
You
know
have that
what?
right,
Listen,
Vin.
if I went down to my mailbox and that was in there, I think I'd have trouble sleeping that night. Something's going on. Who else has access to this? I mean, it's them or me.
Right.
And then,
okay, what if there was a little
game's
note?
going
What if there
on?
was a note with it that said, look, we had a yellow jacket.
Okay,
from-
fine. Then
Okay.
you have to include some notice of some sort. Something official.
A little card.
Something.
A little card.
Yeah.
Okay.
But knowing this now, are you still offended?
They need to notify. You can't
He's just
be
saying
putting
he
things
worries. He's just saying that, if anything's out of the ordinary, he's got too much time to think about it.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
then like he said, he's losing sleep
sure, yeah.
over the dryer sheet.
It's difficult.
It's tough out here.
Yeah.
You guys ever eat carbs?
Yes, every day.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What would you be like without carbs? You would be mean? You would be tired? You would be... What would the effect be? If you had to go carb free, what would the effect be?
It's such a part of my life. I can't think of what things would look like if they were.
Well, they think this is a new finding here, scientific study. They think actually Neanderthals carb loaded, which may have contributed to the rapid growth of their brains. Now, at one point, they thought, okay, what happened around this time? Because the human brain, the Neanderthal brain as well, grew rapidly around a specific period. It started to accelerate in growth. They're like, what did they figure out? So you've all heard the speculation around fire and cooking and hunting techniques and getting more nutrient-dense foods in general.
Yeah, certain proteins.
But then they continue to study the brain and feel like, no, there had to be some glucose involved here to get that rapid growth, the high calorie stuff. And so then they went in there recently, new study, and they collected bacteria from Neanderthal teeth. And they found out that our close cousins ate so many roots, nuts, and starchy foods that they dramatically altered the type of bacteria in their mouths. So this finding suggests that they were probably already eating lots of starch by at least 600,000 years ago. Starch. And you know that high energy feeling you get? You know that fullness you get with that carb? You know when your body tells you you've done good here? Well, really you haven't, obviously. You're dying, you're sluggish. You've overdone it with the mashed potatoes and whatever else. With the breads and the cakes and all the delicious things. But maybe once upon a time when they were burning some serious calories out there, moving, working around, like maybe there's some depth to our attraction to these foods. Like these foods are like a hack on our lives. You see it there, you got to reach for it, you eat it, you feel satisfied.
So you're thinking it's tied to like our DNA?
At this point?
The carbs.
Here's the quote. For human ancestors to efficiently grow a bigger brain, they needed energy-dense foods containing glucose, a type of sugar that's molecular archaeologist Christina Warner of Harvard. Meat is not a good source of glucose. So they just think glucose played a role. And isn't it crazy our draw towards high energy, dense foods? Like the attraction of it.
Nice bowl of pasta.
You feel great. I mean, you just feel like everything is right in the world.
Well, I don't know about that.
Eating
it.
No, I'm saying after you eat a decent bowl of pasta, you don't have a problem with anybody. Everything's sorted out.
Yeah.
You can't have a problem with anybody. You're too exhausted.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead, Vin. I know you're a big starch guy. Break it down for us.
No, I was just going to say, so basically carbs got us here.
Does that make you feel better?
Wow.
You feel justified. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying our brains doubled in size between 2 million and 700,000 years ago. Originally thought it was tools, heat, and meat that did it. But then they're saying, I don't know, it looks like maybe, according to this study, maybe glucose was involved. Maybe they had the roots and starchy goods figured out sooner than we expected. And maybe that contributed to the rapid progression as far as brain development is concerned. Because all of a sudden humans unlocked the next big set of calories.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not full unless carbs are involved.
Yeah. So I don't think you're alone in that. I don't think you can be full, have that feeling.
It's difficult. I mean,
okay, go ahead, Will. Go ahead. You're saying something here.
No, I mean, like if you fill yourself with like celery.
Go ahead.
Like enough celery will make you full to a certain point.
It's a different point.
But I think it's like maybe a satisfaction thing.
Once you get that glucose flowing.
Exactly.
From that fresh bun.
Yeah.
And you're all settled down. All right, so what would it be then? You can pick one starchy food, one carbohydrate for the rest of your life, and you must give up all others. What is your carbohydrate of choice?
Ben, you want to take that one first?
I mean, it's got to be bread, right? I mean, what can you do without bread? I mean, it's crazy to think of a world without bread.
Sure, yeah.
There's lots of people who do it. There's a lot of people that do it.
I was thinking either pasta or bread, but yeah, probably bread.
Bread is everywhere.
Different types of bread.
There's a lot of people, on those.
It's a texture thing.
A lot of people are in the no bread zone.
Yeah.
A lot of people experiment with the no bread zone for the health factors, and some people got the gluten stuff going on.
No judgment, though.
No judgment.
Yeah. Do what you do. I mean, we're bread eaters.
What are you sending best wishes to those that don't eat bread? Or
No, it's,
do what you do.
yeah, it's all good. I mean, if you think it's more healthy for you to not eat bread.
No,
carbs,
everybody, yeah. No, of course. Everybody responds to it differently. But, and also it's important to note, probably the carbs they were working with 700,000 years ago or 600,000 years ago probably didn't look like our like white refined carbs that we're dealing with now.
They don't have Wonder Bread.
No, I mean, like, look at the grains this guy's eating over here.
Yeah.
Anyway, Vin, what's your carb?
I don't know. I guess bread.
Yeah. That's how you get your Subway. You would have to get a bowl at Subway without it.
The primary ingredient is carbs.
You had to get a bowl. Here's another scientific one for you guys. They found a correlation between brain size and yawning. Isn't that an interesting one? They studied a bunch of creatures, mammals. They tried to determine, and bird species. They tried to determine what's going on with these yawns. And they were able to map brain size, not necessarily intelligence, though sometimes I think there have been connections and correlations between brain size and intelligence, but that's not what they were looking for here. Just brain size and yawning and the length of time that the yawn takes. Now, before you scroll down, Will, do you want to take a guess how long the human yawn is?
5 seconds.
Okay. 6.5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Human yawn. That seems long.
No, there's buildup.
Yeah, I think it counts.
Yeah.
The build.
It's also weird. It's also weird how yawns are contagious, isn't it? One guy yawns, you're yawning. Holy cow!
It's a weird thing.
Researchers collected data on 1,291 separate yawns from zoo trips and online videos covering a total of 55 mammal species, 46 bird species, and found robust positive correlations between how long an animal yawns for and its the size of its brain. So birds don't need to yawn as long. As an example there, they don't need that cool air as much. Where is it? It says something in here. Pattern of yawning is fixed. Its duration has co-evolved with brain size and neuron numbers. Analysis was set up to test a hypothesis from 2007. Bigger brains need longer yawns to properly cool them down. So now we get cool air going in there. Birds have a higher core temperature than mammals, which means a greater temperature difference with the surrounding air, so a shorter yawn is enough to drag in some cool air. I didn't even know birds yawned. It's the first time I ever heard such a thing. I guess they do. And they did another one with mammals all the way down to mice. A mouse has a 0.8 second yawn, and the human's in there at 6.5. Getting all that cool air in there for that big brain.
What about undersea animals?
Wow.
You think whales yawn?
Well, a whale's got a blowhole.
Yeah.
So, can a blowhole yawn?
I mean, I guess it could if you tried hard.
I don't know. I mean, I guess they're pushing and pulling in air.
Let's just ask Google here.
It would look gross.
Does a whale yawn? Yawning blowhole. Whales and dolphins do not. No. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they got a whole different structure going on.
Yeah.
How dare you, Will? By the way.
Well, still, the Smithsonian had to address it.
How about this one here?
Someone was asking. Come on now.
Well, yeah, it was you.
Well,
no, I mean,
it.
It depends on what you think of what a yawn actually is. Like, for me, it's the act of opening one's mouth and inhaling a ton of air. So the makeup of a whale, it might even be called something different if they did it.
Sure, yeah.
Because they're not using their mouth for that.
A water yawn.
They got the blowhole going on.
Yeah.
So weird, you know.
Or like a shark.
It's kind of cool though, really. The blowhole, like you're breathing from your back so you can stay underwater. Like it's wow. Wow. Imagine how much evolution you need for a breathing hole in your back. It's wild. It's pretty. Well, I guess it was before. I guess Whale's been around for a while. This happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
Los Angeles area man disguised himself as white guy to commit over 30 home burglaries, police say. And this got me thinking. I was like, Rakim, what's his name? This guy's Rakim Prowl. Prowl? For the burglar? Are we living in a simulation?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Was arrested by Beverly Hills police officers after being linked to burglaries there. People don't use the mask enough. Like the realistic mask.
Yeah.
It's got to be the reason he got away with it 30 times. It's a totally different description. He's got like the skin type mask going on. You know how they figured it out? They looked at surveillance tape and realized that the guy had his mouth open all the time.
What?
Because if you're in a mask like this, you can't breathe through the nose.
Oh.
And they're like, damn, maybe that's a mask. And then they discovered. It's all alleged at the moment. He used a lifelike mask to disguise himself as a white man while allegedly committing home burglaries in the Los Angeles area. Stole flat screen televisions. And the police noticed that during the burglaries, the mouth was always open and realized that it was a mask that was going on. He was arrested May 2nd during a traffic stop. And that's when they pieced the whole thing together here.
So what, they found mask in the car? Or he was already...
They must have.
Yeah.
I mean, they got photos of it. It looks like it's actually laid out on the hood of the car. The picture, now that you mentioned that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you're like, hey, what's this mask about? And then they're like, hey, maybe it's that guy we've been looking for with the burglaries. But didn't you always think about this, like mask technology ever since Mission Impossible? When they're pulling off the mask and it's so perfect.
Yeah. I guess if it's airbrushed and like fitted well, you can get away with it. I would assume.
You get the mask and then you get the mask on top of the mask, like the COVID mask.
Sure, yeah.
It's a double mask.
Yeah, he should have done that.
Yeah.
Because his mouth was always open, apparently.
So it's like a burglary etiquette. They're wearing the COVID mask as they break in. Wow. Anyway, that's some pretty extreme measures right there, but it worked for a bit. But you see how that goes. It never doesn't work forever. You get caught eventually, and then probably not worth it for the flat screen in the end. And then here's the last one of the day. I know, I'm sure Vince seen this one. Maybe you did, well, but we had a tiger on the prowl down there in Texas neighborhood. Big cat on the loose. A 26-year-old man was arrested after police said he drove off with the tiger in a white SUV. So this white SUV, or this tiger, was just roaming around the neighborhood in Houston. Now, you may have heard in the past there's a lot of tigers in captivity in Texas.
Yeah.
There are, but in the actual city limits of Houston, it's illegal. So a lot of it is in the neighboring counties and things like this. So the police approached, and I don't know what exactly transpired, but they approached to deal with it, and the guy was like, please don't shoot the tiger. He's holding the tiger, and then gets into his SUV with the tiger and books it, takes off. They then find out that the guy whose tiger it was is actually under investigation for murder separately. Just like this is like the next show Vin's gonna watch.
What a weird turn of
They do a show about this. The tiger was spotted taking a Mother's Day prowl. Hugo Cuevas was charged with evading arrest after police said he put the tiger in an SUV and then drove off when the cops arrived in a West Houston community. And but the other part about him also being investigated for murder, let me see if I have anything about that, because that takes things to another level. Because they wouldn't have known at the time. The man pleaded for the deputy not to shoot before taking the tiger and bring him inside the home. So, like, when did he have a chance to take off? It's a lot of questions there, but actually, this article doesn't even reference the murder charge. Texas Tiger murder. Yeah, a 2017 murder charge out on bond.
Huh.
And so you're out on bond for a 2017 murder charge. You're like, I'm probably gonna pick up a tiger in the meantime. Put some more heat on me, and then flee. Wow, that's some wild turn of events. Probably not advisable. I don't know what you guys think. You guys don't want a pet tiger, do you?
It would be cool, but no.
Cool. Maybe when it's tiny.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But when it grows up, or like even a teen, yeesh.
You come home, that's on the couch?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Like,
you got to keep that fed. I'll tell you what, you want to attempt such a thing, you got to have a lot of meat on hand.
Yeah.
And just available at all times.
I'm like, where's Otis?
No, Otis, you can't have Otis in the house.
Yeah.
Otis in the last 5 minutes over there.
Gotcha.
So, anyway, that wraps up for me. Vin, did you want to update people what's going on with Subway or what?
Well, it wasn't a big update.
What do you got?
I went to Subway downtown Toronto, around my area.
Yeah.
No rotisserie chicken.
Oh, what happened?
Didn't want to talk about it.
Not carrying or just out of stock?
They didn't really go beyond no. You
didn't press.
It was busy. I wasn't gonna get into it.
Well, maybe you were right. Maybe the profit margins aren't there, and certain franchisees are like, I'm not keeping his rotisserie chicken. I'm losing money here. Every time this Vin guy comes in here, the special order with the rotisserie specific chicken.
The one guy who buys the chicken.
Yeah, he's screwing up the whole chain.
The guy up here is loaded.
He's loaded with the rotisserie.
Loaded.
So you got to wait and order it over there. All right. So, the next big question, first of all, Subway, downtown. Vin doesn't want to say the exact location. We don't want anybody going in here.
No.
But,
steal all the chicken.
But it's time to step up the game, get the rotisserie going. But the big question is, in the absence of a rotisserie option, what were you left with? What did you go for?
Turkey.
Oh, my God. It's unfortunate.
It's healthy. Come on now.
It's too bad.